Welcome to Talk is Sheep, the official podcast of the Wild Sheep Society of British Columbia. Brought to you by our title sponsor, Mountain Tough Fitness Lab. Come along with us as we take conversations that matter to you into the high alpine. We have partnered with Mountain Tough Fitness Lab to help get you in shape and mentally stronger. Whether you're a veteran hunter or just starting out, the Mountain Tough app will take you to the next level. We personally train using the Mountain Tough programs, and we believe in it so much that we want to give you 6 weeks for free using code SHEEPBC. That's SHEEPBC. Check out Mountain Tough Fitness Lab. You won't be disappointed. Good times, buddy.
All right, well, we'll got to get the giggles out here, Mr. Stelter. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, good. I'm sitting here with my two raging chihuahuas on my lap, and we're in the midst of our move, so boxes everywhere. It's a train wreck at the Stelter house tonight, but life is good, man. And I'm going to have a little chat with my wife. I'm like, who the F moves in the middle of hunting season? But anyway, c'est la vie. So.
Yeah, it's terrible timing. I thought it was bad enough moving just before hunting season, then trying to find all my shit when we were unpacking. I was like, don't know where anything is anymore. But no, it's going. We got something fun and exciting happening this weekend where we're going to be all the directors heading down to Richmond for the some in-person meetings and some good FaceTime. The last time we did this, we seemed to hash out a lot, and it's good actually sitting around a table and all of us board members getting things done and making things happen for conservation here in BC.
Yeah, some pretty big stuff to talk about, and it's going to be good to have everyone together. And then on top of it, we have the Beyond Bonds event this weekend, and so that's super cool. We're going to debut that film, Beyond Bonds, which is a women shaping conservation film. One thing we've been talking about, Greg, is a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's for the ladies." It's like, no, it's like ladies' night. It's like, it's probably a good time to go out if you're a dude, right? But no, it's obviously not a pickup thing. But it's open to everybody. It's a cool opportunity, and it's open to kids. It's obviously I don't know how they rate those things, but it's certainly PG or better. It's certainly that you can bring your kids to watch it. It'd be a great event. And a lot of cool things going on. So this is a great film. It's in collaboration with Women Shaping Conservation and the Women Hunt. And then we're going to do a Talk of Sheep Fever podcast with Rebecca and Renee. And so the key takeaway there is that everyone's welcome. So, hey, couples, families, bring everybody down. It's not women only. We did one, was at Crowsbury Farms in April of last year. And that was a great event too, Greg. You were there, and we had a really cool turnout, very diverse group of people, lots of dudes, couples, and one fellow brought his daughter. She was just getting into hunting. That was a fun night, man. That was a cool event.
Yeah, no, it's more of a personal kind of event too. Like it's going to be a packed house. There's a lot of people, but it feels like it's one-on-one. Everyone's just kind of, you're chumming around, shooting the shit with everyone, and then you sit down, you watch a film, you have some snacks. Like it's going to be good, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually excited for this film too. It's a good thing they got going on over there with the Women Shaping Conservation and the Women Hunt. So they're I think the Women Hunt, they're actually just coming out of Texas right now, blasting their stuff on social media. It's cool to watch and seeing all these first-time hunters just getting the job done.
Yeah, lots of really cool energy around that whole program too, and that's kind of where this came from, as you know, right? So Rebecca was on the inaugural class for the Women Hunt New Hunter course, went down to FTW Ranch in Texas and went through the program and changed her life. She just talks about it, and it really empowered her, and she was, now as chair of Women Shaping Conservation, is really involved. And yeah, it's just cool to see this evolution, and then to have the film now to tell the story and hopefully to encourage, that's the one thing we've always talked about, our fundraisers. It's like there's a lot of dudes sitting around talking about sheep hunting, and it'd be good to have more of a diverse involvement, right? Have some of the ladies come out and have them involved, and we're seeing more and more, and it's slowly evolving. And again, to the point of Women Shaping Conservation and Beyond Bonds film night, come on down. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy it, and certainly lots of couples. And it was really cool seeing some of the dads bringing their daughters at that last event. So yeah, it'll be cool if that happened. And get some tickets ahead of time. Go to our website and just click on the homepage and get a ticket there for the event, and you'll be all set up. And come and say hi to Greg and I. We'll have some laughs. And Greg's buying beer for everyone as he always does. So.
No, I was certain it was a Kyle Stelter whiskey provided event. We're not going to let that one go. You owe a few when we get down there. So
yeah, it's going to be a good time for sure. So yeah, be just a great time to meet the board too. Most of our board will be there. I think there'll be a few can't make it because of conflicts with their schedules, but there's going to be a really good group. I think our President Corey Green's going to be there. Obviously, our secretary is going to be there. So that's all that matters. Greg's in the house. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So
yeah, I'm bringing the party. So we're going to that's the end of November. We're going to take a little bit of a break in December from maybe a little break in January, and then full force in February for us. We've got beginning of February, we'll be in Dawson Creek for the Northern fundraiser, and then the end of February we'll be in Penticton for the Salute to Conservation and Mountain Hunting Expo. Some big things happening for Wild Sheep Society of BC, I tell you.
Yeah, so tons of events going on. This is our event time of year. We're rolling into it, and everyone is flat out. All our directors, everyone that sort of works for the society, we're all just heads down and butt up, just getting ready for the events. So tickets are on sale for both of those now. As you know, the Northern sells out pretty darn quick. We're probably about 70% sold out, if not a bit more. By the time we launch this, I'm not sure if there'll be tickets, but if you're thinking about coming, don't mess around. And then, of course, the Penticton event, which is the Salute to Conservation Mountain Hunting Expo. Tickets are available for that, but we're going to push it hard, and we're hoping for a sellout there too. So, we've sold out the last 3 years for our fundraiser in Kamloops, and although we've grown a bit in Penticton, we're still limited on the number of people we can accommodate. So, if you want to come, don't screw around, because we sold out pretty early last year. So, you're still okay right now, but I wouldn't wait too much longer. So.
Yeah, we don't enjoy those phone calls, emails, texts, face-to-face conversations with people. How am I getting in? It's like, oh, you didn't jump on your tickets right away. I can't help you. Yeah, but I got to be there. It's like, well, we would love to have you, but we can't. Like, it's not an us thing. It's a venue thing, and there could be, if they show up and start counting, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's only so many seats in the place, so. Yeah, well said, Greg. And we always are we even with Kamloops last year, we just stopped promoting it. We kept it because there was, but people had an opportunity to get tickets. The magazine was out, the emails were out. So the people that didn't get tickets because they didn't jump on it. So don't make that mistake this year. Get your tickets. We'd love to see you. We got a great event plan. This year is going to be Penticton's. We've got a lot of really cool things going on. We're really excited to share the venue with all our members and supporters, and can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everybody else is that's signed up and knows what we do. And if you've been to Kamloops, Penticton's going to be the new place. That's the hot spot. That's our mecca. Let's go. But with that all being said, and my little hype train there, let's roll into this episode with the one and only Grant Iles.
This episode is sponsored by our conservation partner, Gunworks. Thank you, Sitka Gear and Gunworks, for investing in healthy wildlife and sustainable ecosystems.
Hello, gentlemen. How's it going, Grant?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a while. I guess it's time for us to catch up.
For sure.
I think our usual catch-ups around January at Sheep Week. So.
Yeah.
Usually a few bevies in, sitting around a circle bar, but...
yeah, just a couple.
Yeah. So for the folks that don't know you, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Why are you so good looking? No.
I think it's the beard. My name's Grant Iles. I grew up in the the sheep hunting mecca of BC, Whistler, British Columbia. So yeah, just a BC resident hunter, and that's about all there is to it, really.
Yeah. Well, it's
Diesel mechanic by trade. And that's about it.
right on. So, growing up in Whistler, what gives you the sheep bug? Where does that take you?
So I didn't really start my hunting career till I was 18. I was playing junior hockey on the island, and one of my teammates introduced me to deer hunting, and then, you know, my love for hunting started there and progressively got more into it. And then I moved to Golden, BC to work. Drew a limited entry goat tag, and one thing led to another, and now I'm spending all my free time in the sheep mountains.
Yeah, it's Golden could do that to you. It's a beautiful mountain area, and getting a goat draw. So that's
yeah, a lot of good goat hunting around there, and a small herd of bighorns on the highway there that we're trying to protect, but they're not doing so well.
No, they've got some issues on the highway there for sure. Hopefully one day we sort it out and go from there. So was the goat hunt that sucked you in though? That was that the moment for the mountains?
Pretty much. Spent the entire summer just scouting and getting immersed and watching every YouTube video I could find on goat hunting, probably 4 or 5 times. And then was fortunate to take a 50-inch 9-year-old Kootenai Billy. So it's pretty hard to not get to fall in love with real true mount hunting after that.
Yeah, well, 50-inch Billy, that's pretty significant for your first. Was that your first animal or just first mountain species?
Yeah, my first real mountain species that I consider a true mountain hunt for sure.
Yeah, well, it's goats will do that to you. They're in some hard to reach places, and you're gonna have to work if you want to get the reward. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially in the Kootenays, it's super thick and steep around Golden, lots of cliffs. So you got to be smart about what you're doing for sure.
Yeah. Did you have a mentor, or did you go all in on the YouTube like you're saying and go out there alone, or did you have kind of an experienced buddy you were working with?
Yeah, so originally I was just kind of by myself, and then one of my supervisors at work, her fiance was this was in 21, and he was supposed to be guiding up in NWT, but COVID shut that down, so we kind of got introduced, and then I met him in the parking lot of my place, and we just went out to the mountains together and hit it off from there.
Awesome. How long were you in the mountains for the goat?
So it took us 2 days to find him, and then weather got really bad, so he had to go back to town to work. Had a week of vacation, so I kind of spent a week in my tent just glassing him and making sure he didn't move. It was really bad rainstorms for the week, and then he came back out on his next weekend, and we ended up killing him. So I think it was probably a total of 7 days.
Oh, that's pretty it's pretty patient on your part.
Yeah, he was in a pretty hard to reach spot to kill him solo, so I was definitely thankful for the help.
Yeah, well, it's always better to be safe than sorry. You don't want one of those situations where you shoot it and it's like, now what do I do? I can't.
Exactly.
So you're guiding on the side, aren't you? That's the
I spent the summer wrangling for a pretty prominent outfitter in the Northern Rockies, and that really I learned a lot doing that. I don't think I would be the hunter I am today without that experience. I just gained a vast amount of knowledge from being in the Northern Rockies for 3 months straight.
Yeah, how long have you been doing that for?
This was my first year, actually.
Oh, right on. So that's
Yeah.
that's a good place to go. The Northern Rockies, horses on
Yeah.
those hills. That's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
So how'd you find that? Like, was it a bit intimidating at first? Kind of settled in after a little bit, or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was kind of felt like a fish out of water at first, and then thankfully we went in, I think 3 or 4 weeks before the season actually started, so had a good amount of time to, learn all the horse stuff and get comfortable packing and learn all our trails and that sort of stuff. And then that first hunt started, and it's just a whirlwind after that.
Did you have experience with horses before that, or that was you're there and you're all in at this point?
No, I'd ridden horses a fair amount, but nothing like what we did. It's just a different ball game, right? Like, it's steep, gnarly trails, and you're packing a string of 11, so there's some good wrecks and a lot of interesting situations for sure.
Yeah, you willing to share some interesting situations? Because we've had some dicey ones explained to us on this podcast, and man, horses can get you into some predicaments for sure.
Yeah, we thankfully we didn't have anything too major, just horses kind of getting wrapped around trees going the wrong way, or having to cut some ropes that way. Swimming rivers is always fun. But yeah, nothing too crazy for sure. I got one horse stuck in a bog, but luckily got him out pretty quickly. So
yeah, well, that's the bog. I've been told a couple of times now that can make or break a guy in a horse. It's the where you got to make tough decisions in bogs. So it's good you got him out right away, or her out right away.
Yeah, thankfully I was on the east slope of the Rockies there, so it's not super boggy country, but we do have a couple that you just can't avoid, and it's part of it.
Yeah. How'd you get into that though? Like, it's that's a big thing to do, is just, okay, I'm going to go wrangle for an outfit now.
Yeah, so actually I was pretty fortunate. One of my best friends growing up, he started getting into the guiding when he was 19, and he's kind of been bugging me for a while to come wrangle for him. So it was pretty easy when you have one of your really good buddies teaching you and helping you along.
Yeah, that's good. So you get some quality time one-on-one.
Yeah.
What were you guys chasing?
Stone sheep.
Yeah, nice. Any other animals, or was it just all stones?
All stones, and then we took one black bear as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So something big happened to you this year.
Yeah.
You might be why we kind of sucked you in come on the podcast. So let's dive into that. What happened within the past little bit here?
I was fortunate enough to take my first ram and kill a pretty nice bighorn.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures shared, and it's you might be downplaying it on. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid ram. Are you gonna get it scored, or?
I haven't got it officially scored. We taped it out after a couple shots of whiskey there, and we went 175 and a half, so pretty big ram for sure.
Yeah, it's heavy. Looked
Yeah.
pretty broomed off too, so it should be it's a good old ram.
Yeah, I think there's some debate on his age. Some people say he's 9, some people say he's 10. The bios aged him at 9, so that's what I'll go with. And he was actually pretty tipped out on the one side, and then took a pretty good tumble down the mountain after the shot, and lost a fair bit of splintering on the long side there. And it's all part of it.
Yeah, they're those horns are pretty pretty beat up.
Yeah.
Don't want to trash talk the ram, but it looked like he took a tumble.
Oh yeah, I think I GPSed it as about 1,200 feet down the mountain. So the pack out wasn't as bad as I originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So let's start with the beginning of this hunt. I guess, what did you do to prepare, like physically, for this hunt? Did you do anything specific, or just the guiding, wrangling?
Yeah, just the guiding, really. That you get in pretty good shape pretty fast, and got home from that and kind of did a couple runs around the block just so I didn't get fat in the couple weeks. But no, that's about it. Just being in the mountains, you get in shape pretty fast.
Yeah, was it a pretty quick turnaround from getting back home and then heading?
Yeah, I
out
think
for your sheep?
I had about 3 weeks at home.
Okay, so you got to relax a little bit before doing it all over again.
Yeah, you could say relax, more like just anxiety of the planning and getting all the gear together and making sure everything's organized.
Yeah. So were you hiking, horseback, flying? What were you doing?
A bit of hiking and a lot of horsebacking. So we took a string of 8 horses in.
Yeah.
And then set up camp, and it's kind of a smaller area to hunt, so we weren't riding too much like during the days. It was more just horses were packing in food and camp and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, what was your method once you're in camp? Were you doing a lot of moving around, glassing, or just kind of staying put, glassing all the hillsides around you?
Mostly just staying put, glassing the hillsides. I actually found a pretty good glassing knob right behind camp, so I would just get up crack of dawn and hike up there. It was, I don't know, maybe a 15-minute hike up there and just sit on that knob, glass until your eyes bleed.
Yeah, well, hopefully they weren't bleeding, but
yeah.
When you're glassing for the bighorns, what were you finding? You're staying focused on kind of one area and watching them come out of nowhere. Were they just kind of gradually feeding around?
We had pretty mild weather for late October, so they were still pretty high up in the mountains. And then there's quite a bit of high timber, so they'd kind of duck in and out of that, and quite a few big spines that rolled over the mountain that you couldn't see the backsides all the time, so they'd pop out of nowhere and then dip back into the timber, and you're just trying to kind of keep eyes everywhere to pick them out. You never know when the big one's going to come out.
Yeah. Were you seeing lots of sheep?
Oh yeah.
Lots of decent rams in there, or you were just, you seen that one and you knew?
There's a fair number of decent rams. I had a day to glass before the tag actually opened, and I seen a band of 3 really nice big sheep and tried to get on them the next morning and never saw them, and then actually saw the ram that I ended up killing that morning, but he dipped into the timber, and didn't see him again for 2 days till he came back out.
Yeah. Were you staying in the same spot once you dipped into the timber? Were you like you hunkered down focusing on that area, or were you?
Yeah, so we actually ended up riding down the river, kind of trying to get different angles on the mountain. At that point, I kind of knew I was a little bit far away to tell exactly what he was. I just knew he had a big pot belly and his one side came way up. And I mean, he's pretty light horned. So trying to exactly know how far that tip came up on a light brown cape with a burnt off grass background was damn near impossible. So we tried to go downriver and get a little bit closer and pick him out of the timber, and we never found him for 2 days. And then third morning of the hunt, he came out actually with 4 other rams that he wasn't with before. And then that gave me a good gauge of kind of his maturity level versus some smaller rams. And it was like, yeah, I need to hike up the mountain after this one and see truly what he is.
Yeah, was it once you spotted him on the day you took him, was it an endeavor to get to where you can shoot, or?
Vertically, yes. I think it was about 900 meters of elevation straight up the mountain. But as far as like hiking through brush and cliff bands and that sort of stuff, it was actually pretty easy going.
Well, 900 meters, no joke.
Yeah, it was a long straight up slog that you kind of just had to get to this one point and start poking over the spines until he bedded actually on a big rock knob, and I could see that knob going through this timber in the bottom, but I couldn't see him. I could only see 2 younger rams, so I just periodically stop and get the spotting scope out and make sure they don't see me like coming up through this timber, and they just never saw me until I kind of got in the clear, and then it was try and hustle a lot faster, and so they would still be there when I do poke over.
Yeah. Was he with the other rams, was he in tight to them, or did you have to wait a long time for him to kind of step out in the open once you got to the position where you can shoot?
So originally, and I kind of I dropped a GPS pin kind of exactly where I thought he was, and then I came up the mountain and I kept checking my elevation because I wanted to try and come over equal elevation with them, just because bighorns are known to be a lot harder to judge. Obviously he's more than legal, but you couldn't tell that from where I'd seen him down below. So I wanted to try and be perfectly level with him when I did pop over, just to make sure I did get that perfect look. And then, he was with 2 other rams, and he was originally, I got into 468 yards, and I was just behind a big spruce tree, and I kind of poked my spotting scope up and was glassing, sitting right in this tree, and he was bedded facing directly at me, but there's no way he knew I was there. And after about 15 minutes or so, he finally turned his head to the one side, and at that point, like, I kind of knew from the frontal view that he was way up, and like his tips came way up, but I just wanted to be 100%, so I waited for that side angle, and he gave me that look for maybe a second or 2, and I knew for sure, and then kind of backed out of that spot, went up, and then came down a different spine and got into 315. And then in that time, he actually got up and bedded facing away. So all I kind of had was a Texas hard shot, which at 315 yards on a bighorn wasn't ideal. So I didn't take that. I kind of almost intentionally spooked the young ram to get him to stand up. And it ended up working out. He got up and stood broadside and took a shot and started rolling a long way.
So if you had to go up in that elevation, you just had to follow him back down the mountain when he was sliding? Is that how that planned out for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I just I got to kind of I traversed across to the chute that I knew he rolled down, and he actually didn't end up rolling very far, but he got his horn caught in a rock. And I kind of was looking around. I'm like, there's nowhere I can like tie a leg to a tree or a rock or like anything. So as soon as I like finally put my hands on him, because I took some pictures and whatnot as he was laying there, but as soon as I kind of took my hands and like picked his head up, he just started rolling. And I was like, well, he'll be down there somewhere. He's going to follow the path of least resistance. So and then it was just following the blood and the hair trail down the chute.
What's going through your head at that time? Like, are you just covering your eyes going, oh, don't break any horns?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's I had kind of accepted the fact that there was no real safe option for me at that point, is like a 45-degree angle granite chute with like, there's no way I could have butchered an animal there safely. And it just kind of started snowing, so the rocks were wet, and it was just like, like, this is part of the story now, like, so.
Yeah, well, it's, when you're out in the backcountry, safety's should be top of mind. It isn't all the time, but we try to put it in the forefront because there's not very many options if things go south.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to be doing was sliding around on wet rocks, with a razor blade in my hand, trying to cut up a ram that's wanting to roll down the mountain.
Yeah, it's got bad news written all over it.
Yeah.
Sure. There's I guess we kind of skipped over a point here. What was your curl restriction where you're chasing? You have an LEH or over the counter?
It was an LEH, and it was full curl Bighorn, so through the nostril to the bottom of the base. Okay, yeah. So not a mature Bighorn where it's a bridge of the nose like a stone sheep, but not a 3/4. It's that weird one that's in the nostril, the bottom of the base there.
Yeah, that one's always fun to try to judge too, because if you don't get that perfect angle, it's hiding behind the nose. It's not skylighting above it, so it's like, okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I really tried to come over level with them, is so I could get that perfect angle. If you're kind of below them, the tip's going to look like it comes up more. If you're above them, the tip's going to look like it's lower. So I think kind of getting level with them was almost essential.
Now you've taken your 300 plus yard shot. Your ram's gone down the mountain. Now it's time to deal with them. Was it late in the afternoon at this point? Because
I think it was about, by the time I got down to him, I want to say it was 1:30, 2 o'clock. So not too late in the afternoon, but definitely wanted to start cutting them up and didn't want to dilly-dally around.
Yeah. Did you have much of a pack out, or were you able to get the horses fairly close?
Yeah, so actually my friend Wyatt was trailing in that same day. He was coming in a little bit late, and so he kind of just stopped on the trail, and he picked up my horse and took his saddle horse and rode up as far as he could. And then he hiked up, helped me cut him up, and then pretty much just straight down the chute. Pretty easy pack out to the horses there.
Oh, right on. That makes it a little easier than some. It's nice to have that horse option.
For sure. It's never comfortable riding with a backpack full of sheep meat for about an hour and a half. It's not very enjoyable, but it sure beats walking.
So no saddle bags or anything. It was all on your back and
all on the back. Yeah.
All right, good times. Did you spend a couple more days in the bush, or was it just kind of wake up in the morning and get out of there?
It was pretty much wake up and get out of there. We had a pretty good snowstorm that night, and we had to take the horses up and over a pretty good pass. So we wanted to do that, and then it was also starting to get real cold, so we didn't want to screw around, trying to unthaw water all the time.
Oh, you caught that week-long cold snap, kind of the beginning of that we just had not long ago?
Yeah, I think it was forecasted to be like minus 20 overnight in there, so it was like, let's get the heck out of here.
Yeah, it starts making challenges.
Yeah.
It's that cold.
For sure.
So what's your game plan? What are you doing with the sheep now that you've got this the hammer?
Well, I'm gonna get him a nice taxidermy job done, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, even with reduced odds, I'll draw a Doll sheep tag next year.
Oh, Kyle knows a thing or two about getting the Doll sheep
That's
tag.
what I heard.
He's going to be challenging for that draw too. So,
Well, maybe we could switch some Cole's notes. I'll take some notes on the Bighorn. You can take some notes on the Doll.
I like that plan. Plan.
Me too.
yeah, time to start making trades.
Yeah, exactly.
But what are you doing? Like, you getting a taxidermied? What's your game plan?
Yeah, so I dropped it off with Miles Hansen at Inukshuk Wildlife Studio in Fort St. John there, and he's going to do a Euro mount for me with a set of replicas on a wall pedestal. So, pretty expensive taxidermy bill, but rams like that definitely deserve it.
Yeah, well, and it's a stunner of a ram, and it's your first ram, so
Yeah.
you got to go all in, right?
Don't get more special than that.
How's it feel to be kicked out of the less than one club now?
Feels damn good. Spent a lot of nights of anxiety sitting there staring at 3D maps, trying to find where the rams are going to be on fat maps there. So it feels really good.
Is that your go-to on your preseason scouting or pre-adventure? You go to fat maps and just start figuring out where you're going to start?
Yeah, I usually like to wake up at about 3 in the morning and just have my head spinning, and then I'll just play around on fat maps for a couple hours.
Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. You
Yeah.
load up with some coffee and before you
exactly.
before you go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All right, on.
They don't have a layer for sheep density, but I think I've figured it out in my head now.
Well, it sounds like you got a good spot if there's a bunch of good rams and a bunch of sheep, and
Yeah.
you got to pick and choose. And I'm looking at your ram. I'm assuming you took probably the oldest one, at least in that herd.
Yeah, definitely the oldest one that I saw for sure. Obviously didn't use the full length of the tag time, but you never know what pops out, right? There could be some old 12-year-old cranker in there as well.
Yeah, well, you don't second guess the one you got.
No, definitely not.
That's a ram of a lifetime. It's a beautiful bighorn. It's got lots of character.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you'll share a picture of it with us so the people at home
For
listening can
For sure.
see it in the show art.
Yeah.
What's next on your list here? Where's your next plan? We've got lots of time left to hunt.
Gonna go up to Fort St. John and I'll probably do some casual deer hunting with some friends, but nothing too serious really. It's kind of my one and done for the year of being the shooter, so I think I'll just be a backseat spotter now.
Yeah, that's an enjoyable one. I've been doing that the past few years just with my son, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling the trigger much anymore, but it's
Pressure's off on you, right?
yeah, not somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And then the issue you get though is your freezer runs out, and you're like, oh man, I better start shooting stuff. So you chasing mule deer when you go up to?
Yeah, mule deer and whitetail. We're not going to be picky, for sure.
Awesome. What's your favorite hunt?
Oh, bighorns.
Gotta be
Not-
big- well,
And not just because I was able to kill a really nice ram, but just that late October, being out in the mountains that time of year, it's beautiful with the snow and the fall colors. And obviously when there's big rams running around, it doesn't hurt. But the stone sheep's a lot of fun as well. But those bighorns, they sure get you.
yeah, well, they live in the terrain and habitat that they're in is you got to work.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no second guessing that. I find almost bighorns a lot of the time they're similar to goats. Like you could see them, but you might not be able to get to them.
Oh yeah, we were glassing bighorns that were above bands of goats and intermixed with the goats. We had a couple of ewes and lambs walk up a spine right through about 4 or 5 nannies and kids and just walked right through them about 3 or 4 yards away.
Yeah, were you seeing lots of lambs and kids while you were out there?
Yeah, tons. It was really good
like
to see.
hear.
Yeah, there's a good lamb crop in there for sure.
Nice. That's always good. I enjoy that part of when you're out there and you see the healthy little ones. That's I don't know. Sometimes after getting involved in conservation work and
absolutely,
I find that's a lot of the time more rewarding at this time in the year to me. It's weird. It's a weird turnaround. You see lots of fawns, kids, lambs, and you're just like, oh, that's more enjoyable now. I knowing what they're going through. It's like, yeah, right on. It's good. They made it. What's so if your favorite hunt now, it's got to be bighorns, as you said. Do you have a bucket list hunt you want to do? Like, is there something that's just you think about it more than you should?
In BC, definitely that Doll sheep tag. But if I was to do go on any hunt, I'd probably go to Tajikistan and go ibex hunting.
You seen that video that's floating around of the recently? It's getting hammered out everywhere. The ibex on the roof. There's the giant king of the mountain.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's pretty cool.
I've had probably a dozen people send it to me now. Like, have you seen this ibex? Yeah, I can't afford to go there, so.
Yeah, one day maybe if the BC lottery's ever nice to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant, curious why ibex in Asia? Is it the animal itself, like the majesty of them, or is it the terrain? Is it a little of both? I'm just curious what the impetus is.
I think it's a little like a combination of everything. Just one, starting off goat hunting, and ibex are quite comparable to mountain goats in just the terrain they live in and where the ruggedness of the area that they're living in, and then also just going overseas and having that whole grand adventure as well. Like from what I understand, it takes 3 or 4 days just to get there before you're starting a hunt, and that just in itself would be quite the adventure as well.
Yeah.
Have you hunted out of province or country before? Or?
Not yet, no.
So you're just going to go all in on ibex when you get a chance?
Yeah, maybe one day. We'll see.
Well, they're pretty affordable too. Have you guys seen any prices recently? Like, I know I haven't looked for a few years now, but I think they're still pretty reasonable, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the last time I checked, they were between 15 and 17,000 American, but that's still quite a bit in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, that's gone up a bit, I guess, because I remember back in the day, a buddy of mine was going, and it was around 9 or something. So it's gone up a bit, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong on those numbers as well.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I got one more for you. So if you talk about North America, getting outside of North America and doing that hunt for ibex, but I know you're a Sheep Foundation supporter and stuff too. So
yeah.
Is there any aspirations on a FNAWS or anything like that? Or obviously we can do all three of them here in BC, so that's huge. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think draw odds, LEH willing, I would like to for sure get my BC Slam, but I still got 3 sheep left to do that. And then the prices of sheep hunting doesn't go down. So, I mean, a desert sheep hunt pulls a pretty good penny right now. So I don't know if that'll ever be something that's attainable for me, but it would be pretty cool to do that as well.
Well, for the desert, you just raffles.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to have to be.
Yeah, we've got a few people in the BC Wild Sheep family that have won some raffles and got that desert. So
yeah, I've always heard that Bighorn's the hardest one to get, so I thought I'd start with that and we'll go from there.
yeah. I don't know. You asked Kyle about their Dall sheep hunt this year. I don't know if that was very easy. Near death experience and 400 degrees out.
I'm gonna have to hear more about this.
You have to go back a few podcast episodes and have a listen to Kyle's adventures.
For sure.
But yeah, is there anything outside of the ibex here that you kind of fancy abroad, or?
I mean, Marco Polos are always pretty cool, but those are also pretty pricey as well. I think it would be cool to go down to an Idaho or a Montana and really hunt some giant mule deer, or down south there, but that's also more for just seeing different country and immersing yourself in a little bit different of a culture as well. But I think being a BC resident, I can't complain about the hunting here either.
No, we've got a wide array that we're still fortunate enough that we can hunt. Keep trying to remove some, but take advantage of it while you can, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think just going off the top of my head, BC's probably has the most over-the-counter species available, so I think I might stick around here for a while.
You're not going to move so you can take advantage of somewhere else. Like
definitely not until I get that stone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that stone tag's not getting very cheap, so.
No, that's for sure.
We're fortunate here in BC now.
Yeah.
If I can ever figure out how to shoot one, I'll take advantage of it. But
you take some nice pictures, though.
Yeah, well, that's. Yeah, I could shoot them with the camera all day long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Killing a big stone isn't. They're not around every corner. That's for sure. I learned that this year. You really got to work for them.
Yeah. Well, did you guys? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but did you guys take many stones this year?
Yeah, we killed 4 rams with I think it was about a 160 average and 10-year-old average, so it was a pretty good season for sure.
How long was your season?
August 1st. Hunting season was the first, obviously, till I think we got out the 25th of September, so pretty short season, but when you get her done quick.
Yeah. Were there any real good adventures on those 4 rams? Like, some serious work that made you second guess why you're in the place?
Well, 2 of the 4 we ended up having to sleep on the mountain under a tarp, just with our puffy gear on and shiver through the night. So that's never fun. But when you get your hands on a set of ram horns, it's definitely worth it.
Were you happen to have any of those near the end of September? Those on the mountain under the tarps, because the weather got pretty shitty there for a while.
Yeah, no, thankfully we did that adventure in August.
Okay, yeah. There was some good wind, rain, and snow for damn near two weeks straight. The last couple of weeks of September.
Yeah, the last ram we killed there, we were packing it out in the pitch black. Luckily, we got it out of the nasty drainage that he rolled down, but before it got dark. But then the sideways winds and the rain came, so we were pretty happy to get back to the horses that night.
Yeah, packing out in the dark and dealing with a ram in the dark, or any animal in the dark, especially up there.
Yeah,
lots of. Were you guys dealing with grizzlies at all up there?
We saw a substantial number, more than what you want to see, but no close calls or like major run-ins or anything. Usually it was on horseback, and they were all good bears that just took off running, and be thankfully for that.
shining flashlights around, looking for eyes while you guys are getting to the horses.
Yeah. Looking for the horse's eyes, really.
So you signing up, doing it again next year then?
We'll see. Me and my girlfriend, we have our own 2 horses now, and we're hoping to get another one in the spring, or maybe 2. So maybe we'll just be doing it on our own. But it's definitely a pretty fun way of life, being out there in the bush. But it's also pretty hard being away for that long of a time.
Yeah, that's a stretch. You're going in, my guess is a month before the season starts, start breaking trails and whatnot.
Yeah, we trailed in, we left the highway on July 5th.
Oh, wow. So yeah, that's
got in there and started cutting trail and scouting and getting camps organized and set up and cleaned up after the bears had ripped them all apart. And
yeah. Do you
fun stuff.
Cleaning up after bears is always a good time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You recommend it though to others if they're looking to get into it, or you just do it?
I would say so. If you're a young guy who can swing it with your significant other, or you're single and you have a passion for sheep hunting and being in the mountains, like, there's no better place to learn. I mean, I sheep hunted for almost 80 days straight, which would take you 8 years if all you're doing is 10-day trips. So you gain a lot of knowledge really fast, and it's definitely hard work and not a lot of sleep. And you can get pretty cranky with the horses some days, but looking back on it, it's one of the highlights of my life for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's an experience I've always dreamt of, but I know it's not in the realm of possibility for me. So I might have some explaining to do if I came home, or my stuff would be on the front porch kind of deal. But
yeah, honey, I'm going sheep hunting for 3 months.
Yeah, good luck with the kids and dogs and whatever other animals are floating around. But no, that's cool. Happy that you were able to experience something like that. That's there's not many individuals out there that just go all in and or have a year like you had.
Pretty fortunate to have obviously one of my best friends is the guide, and kind of showing me the ropes and really teaching me a lot about sheep hunting, and not just sheep hunting itself, but actually how to kill big mature rams. That's not it's not something that you can really learn just on your own. Like, I think it's pretty easy to load your backpack up and go for a 10-day stone sheep hunt, but to really dial in how to kill an old ram they don't get old because they're dumb. They're very smart animals.
Yeah. So, your first year going in with the horses like that, what do you have a learning curve in there somewhere that's like, oh, I wish I would have brought this, or I wish I didn't bring that, or this is harder than I thought it would be?
Well, for one, Helly Hansen rain gear, that's number one. That stuff saved my bacon quite a few times, busting through wet willows and that kind of stuff. But it's definitely a steep learning curve with the horses. I think it's more so less about like learning how to tie a diamond and that sort of stuff, but actually learning your horse string itself. They're all individuals and kind of have their own different idea on things sometimes. So learning where to put them in your string and whatnot is, you want to try and spend a lot of time with your own horses, and learning them is super important.
Yeah. Do you know of, well, obviously it was a friend of yours that got you into, being part of the wrangling group, but do you know how a young person looking to do it could get into it, or?
Honestly, I'm not too sure, but I would just start cold calling or cold emailing the outfitters. It sounds like everybody's always looking for wranglers. So if you're committed into doing that for the season, that's what I would do, is just start, shooting guys emails. And then if you can, just spend time at a horse barn, like if you have access to that, and just learning, how to ride and how to be safe around horses as well is a big thing. And then that's how I would try and get going into it.
So I'm going to ship my kids off to your side of town and go learn on your horses.
Yeah, for sure. Feel free.
Yeah. So one thing we like to do around here, since we're all kind of backcountry, mountain, go to stupid places all the time.
Yeah.
What's your moment where you've got to have a moment where it was like, why am I here? Near death, kind of like, uh-oh. What's the moment that lives in Grant's head?
Oh boy. Last year, 2022, I drew another goat tag, and I ended up going solo, and ended up killing a billy in a pretty easy drainage to get to him, but I came down kind of a steep, gnarly chute rather than going through the avalanche blowdown timber, which probably wasn't the smartest thing. I should have taken the slower path, but I ended up tumbling down the drainage about 20 feet, smashed my rifle scope. Thankfully, Leupold has pretty good warranty. Ended up getting down off the mountain, and I think I was walking like an 80-year-old grandma for about 2 weeks after that one. Thankfully, no major injuries, just a lot of substantial bruising.
Is that one of those ones where you're almost afraid to check yourself once you stop moving? Pretty
much, yeah. I think at that time, by that point, I'd put headphones in just because it was so grueling of a pack out. So I think I was just listening to Nickelback and just trying to get back down to the road.
That's
probably not the most bear aware thing to do, but
I'm sure you're singing out loud, scaring the bears away, right?
Absolutely.
Well, solo crashing like that, the mind wanders and you tend to do some things you don't normally do. So it's good that you weren't hurt.
I also tend to not feed myself very good when I do big stuff like that. So I'll usually, my lunch is still packed in my backpack. So that probably didn't help either. That 0 calories and probably not a lot of water.
Yeah, well, you have to have that one person with you that's telling you should probably eat something, maybe drink something.
Yeah. I don't know if solo goat hunting is in the cards again. Maybe not in that area. Maybe somewhere with a little smaller mountains.
Yeah, well, goats and small mountains, I don't think those two go together very often.
No, you're right.
Especially living in the north, whichever direction we go from here, we're dealing with steep terrain.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, except for there's one kind of been floating around north of Prince George's, just walking through. So it's.
Oh yeah, I seen the pictures of him just walking down the road.
Yeah, nothing makes sense about that one. It's almost like somebody kidnapped the goat and brought it into town. But.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that, but.
So we're gonna see you. You're going to the north. You're coming down to Penticton. You headed to Reno. Where are we gonna see Grant next?
I bought my tickets this morning for the Northern fundraiser, so I'll be up in Dawson there, and then probably be a game time decision for Penticton.
Oh.
And we'll see about Reno. I don't think so, though. It's going to be a tough one to swing this year.
Well, I think if you're going to Penticton, we'll give you a pass. I think you should do Penticton, do Dawson. That's a solid February for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Who knows? Maybe we'll even throw in the Alberta fundraiser in there as well.
Well, they're what, usually first couple of weeks of March, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's when they plan theirs.
But could be fun.
Yeah, I heard beers are on you up at Dawson this year. Is that correct, or just a rumor that is floating around?
No, Kyle's handing out whiskeys.
Okay.
No, Greg's correct. The beers are on Red's Mag. So
For sure.
But right on. Okay, well, if I see you in Dawson, if I head up to Dawson, beers on me. We'll make
Just
that
one.
a deal right now.
I only need one.
Oh,
I'll get you back.
We'll get you more than one. I promise you that. But no, thank you for coming on, talking about your first sheep, and
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
for
me
being
on,
a
guys.
life member of the Wild Sheep Society.
Yeah,
So
thank you for everything you guys do for the sheep in BC, and thanks for having me on the podcast.